started. There's our dominating screen right there for you. If you could just chime in and let me know if you can hear me okay and everything's okay, you can see the screen, that would be absolutely amazing. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate that. We're going to start in about 1 minute. You're on here to hear about DS Domination because somebody invited you that loves you, or you're watching their Facebook and they're making more money and you're getting jealous. Either one's fine. And we're just going to show you something tonight we call kind of no hype, no tomfoolery. We're going to actually show you how it works, and you can determine whether or not you can handle it. We think it's pretty easy. My 77-year-old mom thinks it's easy, and I think you will too. So without further ado, my name is Roger Langell. I did $1.2 to $1.8 million in sales, literally from my living room. This is the only hypey thing you'll hear, but I don't know what else to do. It's the true story, and it's been bared out over the years and now certainly magnified as a lot of people are approaching those numbers and making serious money. We just had a gentleman buy a brand new house with his earnings, and he's only worked with us a few months. So fantastic stuff. But enough about the money, enough about that. We created a system here that allows the average person, the below average person, pretty much anybody to succeed. And a big core component to that was I had this in my mind, in my pocket. I was making money with it for a long time. I couldn't bring it to market till I met a couple gentlemen named Kevin Hokawana and Hitesh of Houston, Texas, really the brains behind all of this, and he was able to bring this idea, this theory, this money-making machine to market so all of you could now see it, engage in it, start making money with it. Without further ado, I'm going to bring him out here, very talented, very intelligent. He's going to show you a model, not to get a bunch of millions of dollars tomorrow, not something you can't do, but a logical path. And I know you've been on a lot of calls, probably looked at a lot of things, and you know there's things to do. There's TV on. It's it's getting colder out, prepping for holidays, all this stuff. And I appreciate you guys being here. You got to be at work tomorrow, possibly. Who knows? But take the time tonight, at least about 15, 20 minutes, to actually see. We're going to roll out a game plan, a life game plan from you from tonight all the way to retirement that you won't see in such short order anywhere else. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for being here, Mr. Hitesh.
Well, thank you for that introduction, as usual, Roger. Guys, I want to actually first of all clarify something before we even talk about the meat and potatoes. If you saw the email or if you saw the description of our webinar, you heard, you probably read us say something like that. We said something to the effect of, we're going to show you the exact model of generating a pretty substantial income. It's not going to cost you anything. It's not going to cost you any kind of traffic. You don't have to learn about generating traffic and doing all this, regular stuff that people tell you about. And we will have question and answers. And this is going to be a very non-hypey. We just want to teach you guys how this stuff works. Okay? That's exactly what's going to happen. I know you guys might not be used to that. You might be used to getting on webinars, and then somebody tries to sell you some magical software or some magical method that's going to make you millions of dollars. That's not what's going to happen here. Okay? In fact, let me begin by saying that this is usually what you have been taught in every single situation. This is usually what people talk about. They say, go and find some offer or a product, then create some sales page or find somebody else's sales page, then generate leads with squeeze pages and whatnot, create follow-up messages, and then drive traffic to it. And even within that drive traffic, you might have heard of like these ridiculous sounding terms like PPV or CPV or CPA or PPC or SEO. It's just kind of ridiculous after a while. I just want to know how many on this webinar have ever been told that they could make money doing these type of things? How many of you have ever been told that? Awesome. So, well, not awesome, because a lot of people have been told that, and it's kind of sad, okay, because everybody has been told that. Here's the reality, okay? 98% of the people who use those kind of strategies fail, okay? Now, that's not to say that it doesn't work. Clearly, it works for a very small number of people. But it's because it needs to be a certain kind of condition you have to be in before you get there. But 98% of the people who try that stuff actually take a loss, okay? So what we're going to talk about tonight is actually leveraging 3 different massive companies and platforms out there, okay? I'm going to walk you through that whole process, and we're going to actually show you exactly how to do everything, okay? So here's what we did. We said we don't want to do any of these steps because these steps are clearly ridiculous, right? These are all very technical steps. These are all difficult to do. They're not difficult for somebody like me. I can do these steps in about 10 minutes now, but I know majority of the people cannot, right? And so we don't want to do these steps, and most of all, we do not want to deal with driving traffic. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on one singular goal to begin with. Our very first step is going to be making immediate profits. And we're going to do that with no technical stuff, with no traffic generation. We're not going to sell something or recruit something, somebody into something, anything like that. We're not going to do any of those things. And we're going to focus on making instant profits. So let me write it out for you guys. Our goal here is low budget and let's say $1,000 per month. That's what we want to get to right away. Okay, that's our goal for our first step. And then we're going to learn how to grow that up. Okay. Now you'll see this term over here that I have written. It's called piggybacking. Okay, here's what piggybacking is. You basically go out and you take advantage of things that already exist out there, and everybody does this. Have you ever heard, like, when a local business is opening up, where do they choose to open up? They choose a location where a lot of people already travel, right? They open up next to a busy street or something like that. They're basically leveraging what already exists out there, the traffic that already exists out there. Restaurants do the same thing. They open up next to a place where there are a lot of people already. So what we're going to do is we're going to leverage off of 3 major platforms out there. And you've heard of these things. The first one is called eBay. How many of you have heard of eBay? It's the number 8 ranked website in the United States. We're going to benefit from that. We're going to leverage that. We're going to benefit from Amazon, which is the number 5 ranked website in the US. We're going to leverage that. And then we're going to use a platform that's called DS Domination, which is ranked 788 in the US. So all 3 are massive, massive things. All 3 are basically designed to generate a lot of traffic, a lot of income for people who are plugged into it. The key thing is, how do we plug into it? Okay, so this DS Domination platform, we're going to walk through the whole process of how we're going to actually take this and leverage it to plug ourselves into making money immediately without doing any of the hard work, without doing any of the traffic generation or technical stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pass on the screen to Roger, who introduced him, who welcomed all of you to the call. He's going to actually show us live exactly step by step what he has done for a long time to generate over $1 million a year. And he's going to show us exactly how to leverage eBay and Amazon. And here are 2 things that you need to do while you are watching what he's doing. First of all, do not take any notes. Okay, here's why I'm saying that. There is nothing complicated in what he's going to do, so you just need to pay attention. I really just want you to pay attention and understand the process. Second thing you need to do is ask yourself a very simple question. The question you're going to ask yourself is this logical? Can I do this? Okay, that's basically what you're going to ask yourself. So at no point is Roger going to show you his BMWs. He's not going to show you his fancy houses. He's not going to show you anything like that. We're just going to walk through the process, and you guys have to ask yourself, is this logical? Okay, do not think of any emotional stuff, and then ask, can I do this? Does this make sense? Okay, so Roger, I'm going to pass this on to you.